I am Dr. Edwin De Los Santos Jr., and this is PICPA Matters. Magandang PICPA sa ating lahat. Welcome to another edition of PICPA Matters, and today we are very blessed that we are given the chance and the opportunity to have a chit-chat with one of PICPA's prime movers and one of the pride of Northern Mindanao, PRC's most outstanding accountancy in the year 2022 and recently awarded as one of the 100 prominent CPAs during the centenary celebration of the accountancy profession in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, isang karangalan po ang makasama today, one of my idols, past National President of PICPA, Atty. Josefe Sorrera-Ty.
Hi, Edwin.
Hi, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, attorney. And she is also a commissioner of the Legal Education Board since 2019. And I feel so honored, talaga, ma'am, that you have granted our request and to do this interview right here sa iyong tahanan here in Butuan City.
I'm also blessed because your interview will give me the opportunity to look back and maybe help me also move on. Oh, thank you, Edwin. This is a blessing.
Thank you so much. So, attorney or commissioner, you were born and raised here in Butuan.
Yes, I was born and raised here in 1968. I'm really a true blue Butuano.
Butuan, all throughout, I think I can really, I have seen that na talagang very proud po kayo na yung roots niyo is from here in Butuan City. And I know that you always give back to Butuan. What were your fondest memories sa childhood?
My fondest memories was playing patintero, buwan-buwan. I love that so much. And maybe siguro, and the most important was my bedtime talks with my mother, my nanay. She always reminds us that we should always do the will of God. And she always talks about angels and the saints. And so that the bedtime talks with my nanay shaped my life, that for me, life was so beautiful.
Things have changed right now, attorney, no? Kasi parang ngayon, hindi na masyado yung mga bedtime talks because the kids are into phones and social media. Do you think that has an impact also to the younger generations right now?
That has an impact, yes, because, mothers have always the best interest for their children, while social media does not have that interest. So when they're there in social media, they really don't take good care of our children. Maybe our children will get some good things, but it's still different if it's the mother who have the last story before they go to sleep. It ends the day beautifully, and it will be something to dream about so that they will have a beautiful start the next day. So that was really that's the fondest, aside from playing games, the fondest, the stories of angels, how we are very much loved, the stories of saints. And for me, really, there was nothing that was insurmountable in life because we have angels and saints with us all the time.
Yeah, I can personally relate to that as well. So how did that also shape po yung, paano na po yung pangarap na maging isang certified public accountant?
Okay. Because my mother will always say that the saints were there to help God make sure that all of us will do God's will, no? So, this is one that maybe not a lot of people know. What my dream is really to become a saint. Oh, yes! And so, yes! And I said, well, to do that will be really to help other people. And I saw that that business helps a lot. Although they say money is the root of all evil, but then in order to survive, at least we must have at least money to give us a good quality of life. And so I'm always with my grandmother, my Lola Chabing, during weekends in her sari-sari store. And I love doing the cashiering. I love doing the lista. Like, I would then jot down how much was sold, and then also help Lola do the inventory now, because I know, but just counting how many sardinas were left, like what was the most saleable item. We got so much joy there. And from that, I say, maybe from this joy, you can help others, like maybe manage their business well. And so that shaped, like, I went into accounting really so that I could help others better. Because I was saying, maybe if my Lola wouldn't be able to have an efficient sari-sari store, then he would have a more income to make her life more better. And then maybe if we could multiply this, because you are now an accountant, you'll be able to help others. Like, well, we will have, because at that time, Butuan City was a very small city and not as progressive as now. So that was a dream. Maybe I wanted to be accountant to help the people of Butuan. Oh, the small businessman. So, and I also had a dream to become a lawyer. And I did not want to burden my parents for that second course. So I said, if I be an accountant and be able to work while paying for my law studies.
So talagang at a young age, nandoon na yung desire ninyo na makatulong.
Yes. As early as, I think I could remember, as early as grade 4 or grade 3, I already had that dream that I wanted to be a CPA lawyer. Like I was saying, well, you needed to help people earn a living. And of course, not just earn a living, but also, you have to protect people also. So that's why I wanted it. It was a beautiful combination. CPA lawyer.
Okay. Ano po yung mga naging struggles and achievements yun naman when you were taking up accountancy? You took up your accountancy course in the university in the Philippines.
So, well, the struggle was that, of course, accountancy was a very demanding subject. In fact, at the time I went into UP, it was the #1 quota course. So meaning it was so demanding that you have to focus in your studies. But then I cannot also just let life go and without being alive. And for me, being alive was to be very active in the political arena. And so at that time, you would see that we see a lot of things that has to be changed in government. So you would see me, my challenge was that I have to go to rallies, but then my business school demanded that I would really have to study. And I think I was just one of the few students in the College of Business who would go to rally. So that was my greatest challenge, because that was really very different, right? Like, they were all very focused and I was there. Like, it was so hard to go and to rallies and then go back to school and study accounting. Yeah, and you know how hard it is, Edwin, right? Accounting is such a demanding subject. So that was really my biggest challenge. How do I balance the demands, to respond to the demands for excellence in the College of Business, and at the same time continue to help the country? And at that time, what was in my heart was the way to help the country was to be there in the streets and to rally. And I could remember that during the coup attempts, during President Aquino's time, I was in the dorm, and well, we were working with Senator Pangilinan in trying to keep the dormers safe, So that was really very...
So you were part na rin po dun sa mga paglalaban ng mga karapatan na...
Yes, like, giving more independence to our country in terms of determining what the country needs. Like, it is not really anti-US when I went to rally against the US bases, but it was really more like, allow us to decide our faith. Like allow the country to make us say whether or not it still wants the basis to be here or not. And not immediately the default. Sige, padayon na lang. Like, let it continue. Like, it was not, for me, it was not more of an anti-American, but more on give us a chance to determine our future. Yeah.
You were one of the top-notchers when you took the examination of the CPA exams. Bakit ka bumalik sa Butuan?
Because that was really a dream to help Butuan. In fact, when I really studied for to pass the UP entrance exam, because at that time, there were only a few schools here, and maybe at that time, the schools were really not of a quality that could be comparable with the schools in the metropolitan area in Manila. And I said, I really want to get the best education so that when I come back to Butuan, I will teach and bring that quality here. And so that's why when I passed the CPA board exam course, because you're a top-notcher, you receive also letters of invitation from the best accountants. But then my heart was always to go back to Butuan to teach so that there will be more accountants, because we need that. I always think that nobody is a messiah. Like, no one can do things alone. You need a lot of people with the same love. And I know there are a lot of Butuanans who would also love to serve the country by becoming good accountants. We cannot all go and troop down to Manila, to Cagayan de Oro, to Cebu, right? Butuan must also have its own very, very good accountancy program. I think we have one of the best accountancy program also in the country. We have been giving the country several top-notchers in the CPA board exam.
That's right. Then I'm sure that mga Butuanans are very, very proud of you. Saan po nanggaling at papaano na-cultivate yung pagmamahal niyo po in teaching?
Because maybe it's genetic. My lolo in the maternal side was a teacher. My lolo did not have a college degree during the American occupation, but I think high school. But lolo was very intelligent, and so he was allowed to teach. So I think it's in the family. He taught, and then my aunts, the eldest sibling of my mother is a basic education teacher. My aunt is also an accountant, teach accountancy, whereas my mother was a doctor, also taught in the midwifery school. And so maybe we are a family of teachers, and so I walk up loving to teach.
So ito na parang it runs in the blood.
Yeah.
Yung mga because I've always been wanting to ask you na parang you've always been in the academe, no? And then right now you are a commissioner of the Legal Education Board. During my time as National President of PICPA, I was so happy that you were our keynote speaker. You really highlighted the value of being into the academe. Let's go to PICPA naman po. Paano nagsimula yung pagmamahal ninyo to be of service to our organization?
My first really was just when you have to be a member of your professional organization, PICPA. Love was not there. But then I met this very lovable PICPAN, no, in the name of the late Emiliano Jun Lorenzo Jr. He was so in love with PICPA. He would always tell me, kung mag-Rotary daw ako or mag-Lion. Well, everybody can be a Rotarian. Everybody can be a member of the Lions Club, but you can only become a member of PICPA if you are an accountant. And so love it. And I would see him, do the extra mile just for the profession. And I started asking why. Because there are a lot of these. It's not just enough to be an accountant. You also have to talk about the standards of accountancy, the standards of auditing, because then that will make accounting a better profession to help in nation building. And he showed the link between accountancy and building the nation. And diba, I told you when I was in law school, I had a hard time, like, I want to help in governance, and at the same time, I could not see yet the link between the country and accountancy. Like, at that point, it was just like making people have more income, but not really trying to link how it could help in the economy. Sir Jun showed that how important as a nation builder are the accountants, and PICPA is the platform that will ensure our role as nation builders. I think it's not really very evident on us that we are nation builders because we're always at the back. Like we are, they said, bean counters. We're at the back of the counter, back room. But then he told me, if we didn't do our job well, didn't count well, didn't make sure that the numbers are accurate, my God, our economy will fall. And of course, all of us will suffer. And there I saw the beauty of PICPA. PICPA will be that vehicle that will ensure that all of us accountants will be very, very conscious of our role as nation builders. Yeah.
You were president in fiscal year 2012, 2013. Ano po yung pinaka-mahalagang achievement sa tingin niyo during your term?
You know, the highest, the most unforgettable achievement was really giving to PICPA that there is the recognition it deserves as the most outstanding professional organization for Category A. That's the highest category among all the professional organizations. So we were recognized as such because I think we are so low. We are not so much appreciated as other profession. We are, well, I always, color green pa, diba? Like color green and blue. That reminds me, because I always love saints. That reminds me, color green is Saint Joseph. Color blue is Our Lady. And these are two people that always are at the back, no? And they allow Jesus to be in the forefront. But they're so important also. Accountants are like that. They are always at the back. They do not want to take away the limelight from others. But I thought that we also have to be recognized for the great work that the accountants in the country have been doing to keep this country afloat. To keep this country afloat, the many accountants that are there, because I've seen them. When I was executive, because of course I was regional director first, then I came back again as regional director. So maybe 4 years in the national scene in PICPA, I've met a lot of accountants and I saw everyone, majority, really trying their best to ensure the integrity of the numbers, not just to help their clients, but more importantly, to help the country.
Ano pa po ang natitirang pangarap ninyo para sa PICPA at para sa accountancy profession in the Philippines?
I hope that PICPA will be able to advocate standards for the small practitioners. I feel that our standards should be contextualized. Sometimes our standards does not take into consideration the uniqueness of small practice. Sometimes the standards are a little bit burdensome on small practitioners. Not because they are not excellent, not because they're professional, not they are less of a professional than the others, but I think they are also uniquely situated. And I hope we will have time to reflect on the uniqueness and how we can develop standards in audit and in, of course, in our financial reporting standards and in auditing standards that will consider the uniqueness of small practice. Because if we do that, we will also be helping the small businesses.
I have to agree with that kasi sometimes napag-iiwanan yung mga marginalized, which actually comprise a big part of the business organization. And I can sense na isa sa mga pinanggagalingan ninyo are because of the small businesses that are also here in Butuan. But Butuan has become really a very progressive city na rin po. Dahil yan sa mga katulad ninyong nagmamahal sa siyudad ng Butuan at sa mga kiyawa. Thank you, Edwin. So, Atty, ano po yung mga gusto niyo ipagyapat on a personal level?
On a personal level, I have this special love for for individuals with special needs, like those who have autism, okay, and those who are also struggling with their mental health issues. Because I've been a teacher, and I have met different kinds of students, those who have special needs, those who are mentally challenged, and I know they have something to bring to the table. If we could only just also, you know me, I love the margins. Okay, that's why I love sport practice, because they're at the margins. We take care of them. These people also are special. These people with special needs and are those who are mentally challenged are also at the margins. I know that there are still a lot of things that education has to evolve, no, to meet their needs, because the world has changed, and because the world has changed, things are becoming more difficult for them. And they are, you see the X-Man, the Bama story. This is a story where there are special children, they have different needs. I think these are representations also of our children with special needs. They are special. They mainstream cannot respond properly to them, but they have a gift. Yes, I think their gift will make the world better, and that's also one of the things that I would want to advocate, to take care of them, to look for ways that we can accommodate them so that the gifts that they bring will make the world a better place. They have it.
You're also very gifted, attorney. I can see that with gifts of leadership. No, naalala ko, I was looking at you when you were PICPA National President. Parang you always are very soft-spoken. Parang hindi kita nakita nagalit or whatever. Sino-sino po yung mga naging role models ninyo? How did you become the leader that you are now?
I think my number one role model is my nanay. Okay, and then my tatay. Nanay first, because nanay is really very, very, with a generous heart. He can love his enemies. She can love people who oppress her. So I want that heart. Na you can love even the people who have hurt you. My tatay naman is the simplicity. No, how simple my father was. I could remember that I think he only owned one rubber shoes and one black shoes. If only I can have that simplicity. No, so that's what, and the humility of my father. My father was an electrical engineer, and he was already in, we had our electrical company, the first electrical company in Butuan. He was already at the top position, but the money was not enough, so he had to go abroad. He was an overseas contract worker, okay? But when he came back, there was no longer any slot for him, so he has to go back. He drove the karon atong mga POJ. Yes, he was a driver, POJ driver, and he was a farmer. So you can see how humble you are. Like, you went there, you were a blue collar, and then you came back. Now you have to go to the farm. Not saying that it's not, but in society that puts more value on professions than our farmers and our drivers, tricycle drivers, POJ drivers. That's pretty hard. But my father was able to do that, very humble and giving value to this occupation. Like, a farmer is just as valuable as an engineer. A POJ driver, a tricycle driver is just as valuable as an accountant, a lawyer. So that was what my father brought to me. That everybody is so valuable. They are really unimportant.
Ano po yung mga pinaka-importanting values na hindi pwedeng ma-compromise sa'yo?
Of course, integrity, honesty, and the truth, especially where accountants is very important. Our integrity and our honesty. If it's 1 and we make it 5, hey God, a country will crumble just because of that. That's how important it is.
Integrity and honesty are the basic foundations of the accountancy profession, and should also agree by that. Before I go to my last question, how do you answer if you will be asked whether if you will be made to choose between PICPA and family?
You know what? People would hate me. Family.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the basic institution. If our family are not strong, then the country would never be strong. There won't be any PICPA also because, like for me, if my family was having a problem when I was a PICPA president, then I think I wouldn't have served you the way I served you. So I am as good as I am because I have a family that is also healthy. If my family is not healthy, then I wouldn't be able to serve. So that is how important the family is.
Isang tanong na lang po. How would you want people to remember Attorney Josefe Sorrera-Ty?
I want to be remembered as the servant of the accountancy profession, someone who works hard so that the accountancy profession will always be reminded of its very important role in nation building.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Attorney, for giving us this opportunity to be in your beautiful home. We are really very proud of you. I am from Cagayan de Oro City, also from Northern Mindanao. And truly, Attorney Josefe Sorrera-Ty is one of the pride movers of PICPA, the pride of Northern Mindanao, the pride of Butuan City. Nagkagayon salamat, Attorney.
Salamat po, Edwin. You just don't know how these conversations also help. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So this is Edwin De Los Santos Jr. and this is another edition of PICPA Matters. Thank you.